Good morning, guys. If something seems a little different, that's because I'm not Pastor Jason. My name is Nathan. I am the intern for the summer of 2022 here at FBCI. Before we get started, if you'd touch that red subscribe button there for me, there's also a bell icon right there. If you touch that for me, click that. Um, that'll keep you up to date on whenever our new videos roll out, send you notifications so you always be up to date. I'm actually in my car right now. In the next coming weeks, I'm going to be driving up to Louisville to go back to school at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. It's about a 12-hour car trip. It can be pretty intense and grueling sometimes, especially the first couple times I made the trip. But, as I've gone throughout that trip, and I've made it a couple times, especially in my sophomore year, as I've endured through the long 12 hours and found ways to entertain myself, and I'd arrive at my destination safely, I'd realize a growing sense of confidence. Both in my car, seeing that it could handle the long road trip, but also in myself. Each time I made it safely to my destination, I kind of, grew in confidence that I was maturing as a driver and I could handle longer road trips like that. And now I'm, hopefully, if I continue this trend of safe driving, careful on the roads, I'm hopeful that throughout the rest of my life, I'll safely arrive at my destination. I think that the Apostle Paul is going to give us a similar principle in Romans 5 about how to address our own afflictions and tribulations. So in Romans 5, verses 3 through 5, Paul writes, "And not only this, but we also exult in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings about perseverance, and perseverance, proven character, and proven character, hope." So, what's Paul getting at? He's saying, Christian, when you experience tribulation, trial, affliction in your life, right? Just the day to day wear and tear of life that, you know, you just got to muddle through. Whether that's a guy cutting you off on the road or, maybe it's kids at home, screaming, whatever it is. Paul is saying we are to have this joyful confidence and excitement about that situation. That's kind of provocative, right? That's out there, Paul. What do you mean by that? Well, Paul goes on to explain tribulation in the Christian's life kind of hits this chain effect, with the end result being hope. So Paul says, when you get into that situation, right, whatever it is that kind of, grinds your gears and really puts you to the test, then that forces you to endure, right? As a Christian, we have principles in the scriptures that teach us and exhort us to bear up under those things, how to do that. And so, as you are bearing under that trial or whatever you're working through, Paul says that then produces proven character, right? So, as you go further along, you start to realize I'm not the same person I was when I started this whole thing, right? I'm different, right? I have a new sense of patience. I have a new sense of peace and joy in the Lord in the midst of the circumstance. And that experience then produces hope. The hope of what? That God is transforming you to look more like Christ. That you are indeed experiencing God's promise of sanctification, that you are growing to be more like Christ. That's the end goal. And so this is why Paul is saying you should rejoice in your tribulation, because this is an opportunity that God is using to make you look more like Christ. And that's the hope that you have today, Christian. No matter if it's the guy cutting you off at work, or if it's, family stuff going on at home, whether it's big trials or little, whatever it is, you have the hope that God is making you look more like Christ. Hey, we want to give you a challenge this week. If you know someone who's going through a trial, Send them an encouraging note. Maybe you send them this verse and you encourage them to be joyfully confident that God is going to use this to change them and make them look more like Christ. Guys, it's always a pleasure to serve you. If I can do anything for you, please reach out, contact me. I love you all dearly. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. God bless.